YTBC, what's the deal? So I've seen a very interesting article here on BoxingScene.com. Shannon Briggs, we know he's in the UK right now, looking for a title shot or a big money fight against Tyson Fury, David Haye, or Anthony Joshua. Now, with him wanting that and desiring that, those guys are scheduled for fights. So I'm not sure what Shannon Briggs is trying to do. I'm gonna read this article and I'm gonna chop it up with you guys. He says, well, first the article is just him talking about he's not sure if Anthony Joshua can reach the levels of Lennox Lewis. Well, first let me say, you know, for any fighter, whether it's Anthony Joshua or any other heavyweight, to reach those type of heights, I mean, even if you just reach 50% of what Lennox Lewis was able to accomplish, that's a damn good career in itself. So, I mean, I'm not sure if he can reach those heights either, but Shannon Briggs says, I think it's a lot to ask considering the fact that Lennox had a very extensive amateur career. Said Briggs to Sky Sports. He sparred Mike Tyson as a youngster. He had a lot of experience. I don't know Anthony's background, his experience, but that's a tough act to follow. But at the same time, I think he'll do great. If he wants to be the next guy the Great Britain looks at as the great champion, he's going to have to take on all contenders, including myself. He just conveniently threw himself in there. He's going to have to step up to the plate. Now, I agree with that. He is going to have to step up to the plate if he happens to beat Charles Martin. One thing about Joshua, yes, he didn't have, you know, success at an early age as, let's say, Tyson or Lennox Lewis, those type of guys, Floyd Patterson. But he did win a gold medal, and he has been in training camps with Vladimir Klitschko. I know right now he has Otto Wallen in his training camp, another Swedish up-and-coming prospect, undefeated guy. So he is getting good work in, but, you know, yeah, he's not sparring the Mike Tysons of the world, but he is getting good work in for today's climate of heavyweights. Now, okay, obviously I'm an American fan, but I'm not going to wave the American flag on this one. I'm going to be very objective about Shannon Briggs. I've said before, I like his Let's Go champ. I like that he's confrontational. He's trying to get a fight. He traveled over to the UK. You know, he's looking for all these guys in the daylight with a flashlight. He's doing his thing, trying to talk up a fight, and that's great. That's awesome. Also, take in consideration, he is rated number 4 by the WBA. All those are facts. But with that said, if he can't get a fight with these moneymakers who he want to fight with, who is he going to fight? Because I'm looking at the WBA rankings. He's rated number 4. That's great. But you look at Shannon Briggs' resume. And I'm not talking about his whole career, but just, you know, kind of like, what have you done for me lately? He hasn't had a competitive fight, and you're not going to believe this, in 6 years. I mean, 6 whole fucking years he hasn't had a competitive fight. You look at the guys who he's fought: Matthew Greer, Corey Phelps, Richard Carmack, Zoltan Petrini, Michael Marone, Marenzo Smith. Yeah, those. Now, these are some journeymen, and a lot of prospects also fight these type of guys. Rafael Zumbano Love, he was in there with, who did he fight? Anthony Joshua. I know he took Andy Ruiz Jr. the distance. He took Charles Martin the distance. He took Eric Molina the distance. Took Shannon Briggs the distance, you know. So to me, I mean, you have to fight somebody else, man. I mean, if you can't get a championship fight, I don't see. He's talking about Anthony Joshua, Martin winner. He's not even rated by the IBF. Now, yes, I understand that champions don't have to fight their mandatory right away. They can get other defenses in between the mandatory defense. That's fine. But with Shannon Briggs, I mean, can you at least beat somebody of note? I mean, it doesn't have to be a top 10 guy, but are we just going to give him a title shot just based on the fact that Shannon Briggs did hold on to the a title? I mean, yes, you did beat Sultan and Brigham off, but that was 2000. I mean, that's damn near 9 years ago, man. I mean, you have to do something, man. I mean, give us something, some type of quality win. I mean, he has no quality wins since he, or I'm sorry, he beat Sergey Liakovich, then he lost to Sultan and Brigham off. I'm sorry, correction. But that was his last, you know, competitive fights was, you know, 2007, 2010. He's done absolutely nothing as far as beating anybody of note. He's beaten journeyman. So if he can't get Haye, if he can't get, you know, the winner out of Martin and Joshua or Fury, all these big fights that he won, who else can he fight? And is he willing to fight? Yes, I know he's 44 years old, but the age to me really is not an excuse. especially not in today's climate, man. Amir Mansour is willing to challenge himself. He's fought Trevor Bryan and Cunningham. I mean, he's trying to step up to the plate and take fights. Who else is an old guy? Tony Thompson is what, 43? He's around Shannon Briggs' age. Thompson he took the opportunity. Sometimes when opportunity arrive, you have to take them. I see that Hughie Fury needs an opponent for March 26th. Nagy Aguilera had an injury. Briggs is already in the UK. Take that fight if you think it's a winnable fight and you really have confidence in yourself. And I know Briggs is a confident guy, but I know he's looking for that last payday. But shit, man, I mean, if you can't get it, who else are you going to fight? I like the Let's Go champ, but I mean, are you really trying to fight somebody to prove that you deserve a title shot, or are you just trying to get thrown into a title shot? You know, now on the business side, yes, that's great business for Shannon Briggs, but I'm not, you know, his management or his cousin. I'm not his brother, or I don't train with him. As a fan, I think, okay, who can you fight though, man? Like, because you keep turning down fights, the money isn't right. And again, I'm not his accountant. I'm not his, you know, so if it's not right for him money wise, then hey, that's his prerogative. But as a fan, it makes me seem like you're just doing a lot of talking though. You know what I mean? Tony Thompson seen an opportunity to fight Luis Ortiz. The fight was in Washington, D.C. The opponent, Alexander Dimitrenko, pulled out the fight. Tony Thompson, 44 years old or not, said, fuck it, I'll fight him. And he stepped in and fought him. Antonio Tarver, he's in his 40s. And I know a lot of people have a lot to say about his outside the ring things, and that's fine. But I'm saying, you know, he wanted to take fights. You know, Antonio Tarver fought Cunningham and other guys. I mean, he wanted to take fights. So why can't, you know, Shannon Briggs follow suit? It's not like Shannon Briggs was in title fights or, you know, beat some contenders a year or two ago. I mean, we're talking 6 years ago, man, when he lost to Vitaly. And in 2007 when he won the title. You know, so it's like, we just can't live off our past forever. I mean, you got to bring something to the table that's of note nowadays. I mean, give us something, man. Like, somebody that's on an upward trend that you've beaten. But he's trying to just position himself with his mouthpiece to get a title shot. I can't hate on that. I'm not hating on it. But just as a fan, okay, I understand who you want to fight. But if those fights can't get made, who else are you willing to fight? Because you're in the UK. Hughie Fury needs a fight. I haven't heard anything about that. I know Team Parker came out and said how Briggs was turning down fights. Deontay Wilder and Briggs, when they were negotiating for that Arthur Spilka date, Briggs didn't accept that money. So it's like, man, how much money are you really willing to accept? $1 kajillion to get a fight? I mean, again, I'm not his accountant, so I don't know what's substantial to Briggs. And, you know, what's substantial to me can be two totally different things. He's the fighter, but it just almost seems like Shannon Briggs want, like, everything to be perfect. Like a TV date, a sold-out arena, $1 kajillion, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't work like that. You haven't beaten anybody of note. No, I mean, we're talking 6, 7, 8 years. You know, so I don't know, man. Plus, you're getting 44 years old. I mean, there's up and coming talent, man, that probably deserve a shot more than Shannon Briggs, if you ask me my opinion. But I understand from the business standpoint what Shannon Briggs is trying to do. But it's just kind of like, okay, you chase Vladimir around. That didn't happen. You know, but I mean, hey, maybe, you know, the David Haye can get him for that May 21st date. That's a fight that I've been pushing to get made since, he, you know, Briggs is over in the UK anyways. But the question to the YTBC is, if Briggs can't get any of those big fights that he wants, who else can he fight? And do you think he's willing to fight anybody else? Or do you think he's just simply trying to cash out no matter how long it takes? I mean, is he going to wait till he's, you know, 48 years old to cash out? It's just, I want to see him fight somebody, because I think he has a punch of chance to beat anybody. I know he has stamina issues and he's getting up there in age, but like I told you a few months ago, I was looking at BoxRec's top 20 and 13 of the guys were 34 years or older. So age really isn't what I'm focused on. It's just that you haven't beat anybody, bro, like in a while. And I respect the fact that you were a former title holder, but what have you done for us lately? Besides give us good punchlines and quotes, you know, for us to talk about on YTBC. I like Shannon Briggs. Let's go, champ. I love it all. But who are you really willing to fight if you can't get a quote-unquote big money fight? You guys let me know what you think. YTBC. I'm out.